Hello, welcome back. And we are going to create number one, we are going to create stiffeners, and we also want to change the thickness of our plate, and also want to weld this base plate and this column to be one assembly, to be single assembly. Now, how do you go about that? Just double click on the plate here. So the moment you double click on the plate, that the dialog box or the dialog box editor for the base plate will pop up, and we can adjust the thickness of the plate, and we need the 20 millimeter MS plate right there. So I'll go ahead and click apply. So you can see it adjusts itself to the thickness of plate of our preference. So let's first of all check the measurement of the plate here. We have the plate. So if you want to check the measurements, just come to edit. Then under edit, we have a variety of tools that can help you get the measurement here. We have the measure there and can pick on that. And if I snap over here, let me just snap here. And if I snap on that spot and snap on the other end, I'll be able to confirm or see the measurements. So I'll have that in place. Also, that is 10, 10, 10 or 150 or 10. So right click and I'll click interrupt just to go out of that macro. So first things first, I want to create the stiffener here. So to create the stiffener, I'll use the points here. So I'll come to points and I'll just mouse over here to get the midpoint of this plate here and get a point right there, and come here and get a point. But one thing we have a problem with this is because the part of this pipe is extended downward, so our snapping points will only be detected at the bottom end here. So what you need to do is bring this plate upward. So we don't want to interfere with the length of the height of this plate. So what we are going to adjust is to readjust the position or the position of this plate, or give it a push our pipe upward by 12 millimeters. So what we are going to do, instead of taking our pipe upward, we are going to readjust the position of this particular plate. So we want to take it behind. So if I click on that and click apply, I'll be able to see it's still not moving. So you double click on it once again. Let me just double click on it once again and come to position in depth of the plate. So I'll come here and click front. So if I click apply, I'll be able to see it has moved down by 12 millimeter. So the pipe is on the surface. So if so that makes a point not important at all. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click yes to delete that, and come back to points and click on the point. So I'll just snap at the middle point of this particular plate here, right here. So let me, once it becomes active, I'll place my point right there, and I'll just give it an offset of 200, because that is the offset that we agreed and we did. And I'll come to linear here, and to copy this point to the other end, that will be dependent on the direction or the position of our XYZ plane. So I'll reset this, and I'll work with the y-axis here. So I'll feed in here 200. So I'll go ahead and click copy. So that point will be located right at the edge of that particular column. So I want to use these 2 points. So I'm going to press Control and select this point, because this one is still active. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click once again and come to special copy, and I want offset this point upward by 250 millimeters. So let me just reset that and come to Z axis and just type 250 millimeters and click copy. So the moment I click on copy, I'll have the 2 points up here. So I want to create an insert plate here and give it to the chamfer. The simplest way, I'll come to steel, then come to plate. Then I want to create a contour plate here but start clicking following the points that I've just created there, and click on that point right there, and click on that point right there, and just mouse over the points we've just created like that, and come to that spot, and come to this spot also. Let me just snap on that spot right there. So if we complete the polygon or the contour plate, we're able to see once the polygon is closed, or the loop has been closed, you will be able to see we have a plate in place. But you can see it's at the edge, but I want at the corner here, but I want this to be positioned at the center of the plate. So I'll double click on that. So the moment I double click on that, this will bring in or bring to us the editor dialog box for this particular plate. So I'm going to position that and pick middle. So if I pick on the middle, if I click on that, you'll be able to see this plate is positioned at right at the middle. And the same thing, we can change the thickness of this particular plate. So I'll leave it at 12 millimeter. So also I can just change this to 10 millimeter and I give it an apply and give it an OK. So from here, we want to give this plate a chamfer here. So how do you create a chamfer here? Select the plate and pick at the edge here. That edge will bring this further editing tools that will help us in creating in customizing this plate further. So we have, if you mouse over here on these buttons, you can be able to see move definition point to the surface. But in our case, we need a chamfer here. We'll pick on the chamfer, and from the chamfer here, we'll pick on this drop-down arrow. From this drop-down arrow, we have variety of chamfers that you can pick from. So we can pick on the type 1 here. So under type 1, we can feed in here. Maybe we need maybe a 150 and probably 150 here. So the moment you click on that, just go ahead and click apply and close this dialog box here, and we have our chamfer in place. So the next thing we want to do is to populate this around the column, and make sure while populating it, make sure they are welded to the plate and also to the column. So let's do that. I'll come to weld auto and pick on automatic to object welding, and I'll pick on this member and weld it to that, and also pick on this member and weld it to this. So you are not able to see the welding symbols here because I had deactivated that, so that you see that this is a symbol of welding. So to confirm that, if I select on this member, right click and come to assembly, show only assembly, you'll be able to see it is an assembly. But there's one thing that is missing out. It's still not welded to this member. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to re-weld this stiffener to this, or I can come here and weld this to this plate. So you can see, if I do that, you'll be able to see we have the welding in place. So let me just deactivate that first of all, because we still have so many things to do that the welding symbols will obstruct our next step. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to select this plate. So once I've selected that plate, I want to populate this stiffener around this column. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click and come to special, copy, and pick on rotate. So I want to populate this. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to first of all to define the rotation point here. So I'm going to just mouse over here and make sure I snap right at the center of this particular column. So just mouse, zoom closer. So I'll place my mouse right there. I'll click right at the center there. So once I've clicked on the center there, I'll right click. So this will be our rotation. We'll be rotating. We'll populate this stiffener about this point. So how many do we need, and at what angle of this rotation will be done? So I need this to be populated at an angle of 30 degrees. So this, I need 11 of these. I need 11 of that because we already have one, though we need 12, but we already have one. So we just key in here 12. So once you've done so, just go ahead and click run. So if you click run, we'll have all the stiffeners in place. So you see the last one is active, means there is no a duplicate of any that has been added to this. So that's how you create, you populate this. I'll close that. So to confirm our assembly or our welding is accurate or still active, I'll select any part of this or any of these stiffeners, then right click and come to show only assembly. So I'll come here once again, select on that, right click and show select assembly. So if I click select assembly, we're able to see this is a whole assembly, because that means welding has been created. There are two options here. You can either cut this, but if you cut this, You can use it somewhere, but it's not necessary. I normally leave it at that. So that's how you create a base plate and with the stiffener in place. So the next, I'll show you how we can create holes and how we can create anchor bolts on this. So let's meet on the next presentation, and bye bye. And I hope you've gotten something, and you'll try and learn COMOSYS. And also, if you need a copy, you can reach. If you need a license, you can also reach out for a talk so that you get to know more about COMOSYS. Now, let me just close that, and let's meet on the next presentation. Bye bye.